Welcome to Corinne's Picks. I'm your host, Daniel Lanzilotta, and tonight's guest is a remarkable person who I met about a year ago in West Harlem. He's the executive director of the West Harlem Arts Alliance, and I have to tell you, I was so blown away from that time that I met you and what was happening, and that was the launch of, or you were activating the space at the Tasty Labs building.
Yes, Innovation Triangle. Yep.
Innovation Triangle, and I was like, wow, this is remarkable. And
Well,
it
thank
stuck
you.
in my mind, and I said, I'm going to have him on the show.
Well, thank you for having me here.
And then
I'm
it
happy.
turned out that you know Michael Noby.
Yeah.
And I liked that. That was a good plus. And here you are.
Yeah,
Welcome
here I
to
am.
the Bronx,
Thank you.
the other side of town.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Thank you so much. I'm a big advocate of activism, the arts, artists, and sooner than I hope this will be a name change from Corinne's Picks to artist art and activism. The show will be Artivation TV. And I see you as a gigantic activist.
Well, yeah. It's hard not to be when you were born and raised in Harlem and you have a passion for the arts and you use the arts in order to gain a little bit of equity, not only in your life, but for your neighborhood, for where you live. And obviously, means a lot for the folks of Harlem.
Right. So when I saw what you were doing there in that massive space, and that's the former Tasty Bread.
It's called the Tasty Lab building now because the building that was there before was totally leveled, and they put up that new structure. And it's supposed to be introducing a new industry to the area, incorporating technology and biotech, any really sort of advanced technology. They're trying to sort of bring it into to the area, and so they constructed these buildings for that purpose.
And then you had this event to activate that space using artists.
Yes. Unfortunately, the development of the sort of leasing of those spaces have been lagging, of course, since COVID. And so the West Harlem Arts Alliance, one of our main programs is to activate spaces. The year before, we had activated empty storefronts along the Hamilton Place commercial corridor. And in that year, last year, when you came, we activated sort of the Innovation Triangle, which is the convergence of 127th and 126th Street, forming a triangle. And as you know, that historically was the old factory district. They made beer, they distributed milk. It was a meat marketplace, not unlike 14th Street, the
meatpacking district.
The meatpacking district. There was our own meatpacking district in that area, back in the day. And since that industry left, those warehouses, those huge buildings, became empty. And so there was an effort to revitalize the area by renovating those buildings and introducing a new industry to the neighborhood. Right. We activated the space because it was empty, and we said, hey, we would love to do art here. Certainly, there's a big need for a space in Upper Manhattan, not only to show art, but to produce it, to make it, to show it, to perform in it, to do everything. And as you know, we had dance, we had exhibitions.
Ice skating?
We had ice skating, if you can believe it, in July.
That was mind-boggling.
Yeah.
I'm still seeing the whole thing.
Yeah,
It was like my brain could not make the connection. Even when I was sitting through it live, I was like, they're ice skating.
Yeah.
And it was so beautiful.
It was so well done.
It was so unbelievable.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. And we were just doing gangbuster business all summer long. Every weekend we had a different local organization coming by and doing their thing, individual artists coming by doing their thing. We had 4 artists in residence there, and so we would have open studios every Thursday. We do many different activities for the community, and I'll tell you, we closed, we couldn't stay there forever. We ended in October, and I can't tell you, to this day, I still get phone calls. When are you coming back? Is there space available? Can we do this here? Can we do that there? So obviously there's a real need.
Right. Now, that was a temporary artist residency program.
Yes.
And you're saying that that's not happening at the moment.
It will. We typically have it started in the middle of summer, and it goes into the spring, into the fall rather. And we activate some spaces.
How does one, as an artist, get involved with that?
Well, I think the best way is to sign up on our website at whaanyc.org, get on our mailing list, because we eventually publicize this not only through e-blasts, but on our social media accounts, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook.
Right. I mean, you do a phenomenal job of getting your message out there. I see it all the time, and I'm on the mailing list, and I'm on different, I'm on Instagram, I'm following you on Facebook. So I'm getting it from 3 different locales.
Sure.
And then I share. I'm a big sharer of people's platforms.
That's a big help. That's a big help to spread the
I
word.
think that's really an important aspect of being part of a community. And this is really intriguing to me, how you've built this community. You were born and raised there. You went to school there.
Yep.
And then you went to Cardinal Hayes, not so far away.
Not too far away from here. Yeah.
On the other side of the river.
Yep.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's not bad.
And then you went to Columbia.
Yeah, I was a glutton for punishment because I graduated there twice. I have my undergraduate degree and I have my graduate degree from Columbia University. I have a master's in fine arts.
Okay. So you know what you're doing.
I think so. I like to think I do, but more importantly, I worked downtown for many years. And really in my area, if anybody knows the nonprofit arts area, you have your managers and producers, which I was, but I was a grant writer and a fundraiser mostly. When I got the opportunity to bring my talents to my own neighborhood, I was ostensibly tapped to start this organization during COVID, mind you.
That's brave of you.
Yeah, it gave me time to do all the paperwork, actually, so it worked out well. But the opportunity to develop and advocate and support the arts, the artists, and arts organizations within West Harlem was a real opportunity for me. And as soon as that came by me, I just grabbed onto it.
You're a very rare person in that regard. I mean, to be born in a community, stay in the community, you live in the community, and activate an organization of that magnitude with the platforms that you put out there, the programming alone. This past weekend, I had the honor to come visit you at the opening of the Jazz Festival at Jackie Robinson Park.
Yep.
And I have to tell you, that was also mind-boggling. I totally loved it, and I think that there's a very long list of other concerts coming up. When does that end?
Sure. It's the 4th annual West Harlem Summer Jazz Festival in West Harlem Parks. We're hyper-focused on West Harlem, obviously. And we'll be performing all summer long, all weekend, in one of the 4 Harlem parks, which is Jackie Robinson, St. Nicholas, Morningside Park, and Montefiore Park. And so, except for the 4th of July weekend, which is sort of like our halftime, we take a little break for the 4th of July weekend, we will be performing in either one of those parks all summer long for a total of 30 performances.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's really, I mean,
and these are really high quality acts.
I saw that. In fact, I explained my visit to the concert this past weekend to someone, and I said it was a remarkable concert, seasoned musicians.
Oh, yeah.
Without question. It was remarkable.
Well, one of our missions is to support the artists who live in the area. And unfortunately, a lot of jazz clubs have closed in Harlem. It's left a lot of musicians really somewhat out of work. And so we, about 3 or 4 years ago, said, hey, let's do something about this. The artists are here. They're not working. Let's give them a venue to work. Let's start a festival where we can engage them, but at the same time bring really quality jazz to local residents. And we really do it for local residents.
Have you ever toyed with the idea of art salons and homes and things like that?
Yes, as a matter of fact, we have that program for the coming year, because for the first time, and this is hopefully will be news, We are right now in the negotiations for an art space in West Harlem, in Hamilton Heights.
Okay.
And so once we get that space, and hopefully everything will go well, so that the negotiations and the lease arrangement go as far as that goes, that's one of the ideas that we have in order to keep the
Will
space
that be
in use.
on the sort of live-work kind of thing, or is it just studio space? Will artists live there?
No, it's a
or-
retail space. It's about
Okay.
4,000 square feet of retail space, 2,000 upstairs, 2,000 downstairs. So we're thinking of doing a couple of programs there, hopefully a couple artists in residence. Basically, we want to keep that place jumping all the time. There's no virtue in an empty theater, and there's
No,
certainly no virtue
no.
in an empty art gallery, right?
No.
So we want to keep it jumping all the time, keep it open all the time. And one of the programs that we have is to create a little salon situation where people can come by and talk about art and perhaps address some of the challenging issues that we have in West Harlem that would hopefully make that an easier process for a lot of local residents, local artists.
Right. Tell me, how do you support the cottage industries that surround there, like, say, restaurants and maybe caterers and things like that?
Sure.
Do you incorporate them into the events?
Absolutely. We believe one of our mantras is solutions through collaborations. And we collaborate with many other arts organizations, but we also collaborate with local stakeholders, civic and community-based organizations, as well as local businesses. And every opportunity we get, we always buy local, we cater locally, we always feature restaurants as part of our exhibitions in some fashion. As you know, at the Innovation Triangle, we featured 14 local restaurants.
Right.
And we had QR codes so that anyone can wayfind their way from Innovation Triangles to the restaurants.
Right. Now, also, have you toyed with any ideas about bringing guests from other parts of the world to participate and maybe have an exchange where maybe you might sleep on someone's couch, for instance?
You know, you're giving me here some really good ideas, man. I think I kind of like that. We, like I mentioned earlier, we're sort of hyper focused on first helping out local artists in the area. But that sounds like a very
I got a
intriguing
couch,
idea.
You got a stand-up bass.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I kind of like the idea.
I mean, something like that would be really awesome to
Yeah.
have that exchange to go beyond the borders.
Absolutely.
Even,
Well,
even on this side of the river.
well, to tell you the truth, a lot of West Harlem is ostensibly an immigrant community, and a lot of the artists that are there working are immigrant from all over the world. And so that's almost a little bit built into the artists we serve, that notion of, bringing arts from all over the world into West Harlem.
When you say West Harlem, what are the absolute physical boundaries of West Harlem?
Sure. It's loosely in Community District 9 of Manhattan, which runs ostensibly from 110th Street to 157th Street, from St. Nicholas to the river. So it's that sort of rectangular. And it comprises of 3 neighborhoods: Morningside Heights, right, where Columbia University is, and then it goes down into the swell, or the valley, where 125th Street is. That's called Manhattanville. That's where the Innovation Triangle was last year. And then it goes back uphill to Hamilton Heights. Some people may also know it as Sugar Hill.
Sugar Hill.
Yeah.
Right. And so each of these neighborhoods are working independently, or you've tied them together through the
Well, yeah,
Harlem
we
Arts
try to do
Alliance.
that as much as we can. Our first space activation along the Hamilton Place corridor was in Hamilton Heights. Last year's was in Manhattanville. Hopefully we'll do Morningside soon.
I'm going to pick up from there when we come back from our public service announcement. Welcome back to Corinne's Picks. I'm your host, Daniel Lanzilotta, and I am here with Executive Director of the West Harlem Arts Alliance, Michael Palma Mir. In researching and looking in your background, I saw a phrase, community benefits agreement.
Yes.
Can you tell me more about that?
Well, Columbia University sort of took over Manhattanville and what they're calling the new Northern Campus, and they used eminent domain to do that. So, usually that's private property taken for a public good, but in this case it was private property for a private good. So the state said, okay, we'll let you do that, but you really have to create a benefit for the community. And so there was a community benefits agreement created between Columbia University and the community through the community board, and that had certain mandates. One of those mandates was to create an arts advocacy organization.
And that's how?
And that's how West Harlem Arts Alliance started.
Wow.
Yeah.
And my other thing that I really love about what you're doing is the graphics.
Really?
The platform, the website, it's very rich. And each thing that you're doing has its own energy, its own well-done graphics, and it communicates what you're planning and doing in the present and the future. Do you do that, or?
No, I have well, the mission of the organization, I like to say, does it, right? Leads it. But I do have an advantage of working with a woman who used to live in West Harlem, doesn't anymore, but started living in West Harlem. Her name is Cinzia Meninghello, who is a wonderful web designer. And I reached out to her. She used to work at the Sugar Hill Children's Museum in West Harlem.
Yep.
And I started using her and helping me with a lot of the graphics, the initial work that we did on the website. And we decided to keep it robust but simple at the same time.
Right. So for instance, on Saturday, when I came up to the jazz concert, I took a walk up by where Lucille's is.
Mm-hmm.
There's a new cafe that's a little further down the block from there. And I stopped in there and I had a latte, support the local business. Then I moseyed on over to the concert and I just listened to the music. I know what the park is, of course, but I like listening my way there. And so how do you when you're searching or engaging community businesses, do you gather them up for a meeting, or do you contact them individually and say, would you like to be participating in keeping in this ball
We
rolling?
reach out to them. We try to, we make an effort to contact them. Some businesses are very receptive. Some, they're just so busy doing what they do that sometimes they really don't have the space to really participate in what we can offer them. But by and large, they all sort of cooperate. And if you can tell by our Instagram account, we feature a lot of them in stories and reels in order to support local.
Right. How important is food to the things that you're doing?
Well, it's part of the culture, isn't it?
Yes.
It's part of community, the culinary arts, so to speak. And I think it's a big part of West Harlem. I think it's a big part of West Harlem's future economically. A lot of organizations the neighborhood is beginning to recover from COVID. We're sort of lagging the rest of the city. But restaurants and local businesses have always been the anchor for community development in West Harlem, along with the arts. And so for me, that's a perfect marriage.
Right. So in other words, food is very important, but there's no real place to get a culinary arts degree. Is there any way to make a marriage between a cooking school and...
I'm telling you, man, you're coming up with these fantastic ideas.
I think of this stuff because I was a culinary arts instructor myself. I worked as a chef.
Well, then
for
let's
many
talk
years.
afterwards, and let's see if we can create something.
I have a heavy-duty background in culinary arts.
I like the idea.
And so even there was a time when I was thinking about doing something with somebody once on a barge and putting a gallery on a barge and going up and down the Hudson River. And I think I found a guy that might be interested in doing this. Could you imagine taking the West Harlem Arts Alliance putting it on a barge and having concerts go up and down the river?
That would be lovely. Actually, we do have the West Harlem Piers,
Right.
which is on 125th Street.
Hello,
So
that's what
that
I'm
makes a
talking
lot
about.
of sense. Yeah.
By Dinosaur Barbecue.
Yeah, exactly. By Dinosaur Barbecue.
Hello.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer to me.
No, it sounds like a wonderful idea.
So let's do that.
Yeah, let's talk. Let's talk.
Yes, so that's the kind of thinking I'm seeing. I mean, expanding. I like local. I'm a big fan of that, and I like expanding and going beyond borders and including people and gathering people who come from all different walks of life to share ideas and share movement. And because in my world, in my background, the oppressor doesn't like that.
Well, you know what you're hinting at, and what we are all about is collaborating and coming up with projects and ideas in order to service the arts and the artists and the organizations, the creative organizations in West Harlem through these types of collaborations.
Right.
To tell you the truth, it's hard to do anything in Harlem, to tell you the truth, anywhere in the city without having partners and collaborators.
Right. I call it conductivity.
Conductivity.
I'm not a fan of the idea of resisting your opponent. I'm a fan of, let's have a beer.
Yeah.
Let me hear what you have to say.
Yeah.
What is your problem with me?
No, I'll tell you what, we have, in the things that we do, we found a lot of other organizations that do similar things to be very receptive. And I think, folks in West Harlem and in Harlem in general, East Harlem, Central Harlem, West Harlem, they're very receptive, and everybody realizes that this is not necessarily competition, but this is really, helping out and promoting the arts in Northern Manhattan. And so far we've had very, very good collaborations up and down West Harlem.
In the cooking world, with ingredients and recipes, and there's lots of secrets, especially on the catering side. I've done a lot of catering in my life. There's a lot of secrets. And as an artist, I never think I'm competing with another artist. Like if someone wants something, they're not buying it because it's better or something like that. They're buying it because that's what pleases them, or they derive some pleasure out of that artwork.
Yeah.
And so I'm very wary of artists who believe they're in competition.
Yeah.
We're not competing against each other.
No, we're all in the same boat, to tell you the truth. So I don't see
it's
how
hard to get that across.
Yeah.
And if you know Louise Hay, if the name Louise Hay, she was like a self-help guru back in the day. I read one of her books years ago, and it was, "You're a different expression of me. I'm a different expression of you. What is your flavor?" And so I grew up in a mixed household of many cultures and food and what have you. So I saw the world as flavors. My father was a concert violinist. I heard music. My mother was a cook. It was crazy in that house. And so I always saw the world as flavors. What flavors are you bringing to the table? So when I see West Harlem Arts Alliance colors and the circles, I get excited by that because it just brings back a lot of memories of these things and ideas. Because reds and yellows and whatever the color, this starts my brain, activates my brain in a way that I feel them or see them or I taste them.
Well, I would say that West Harlem, and you may or may not know this, but it is one of the most culturally, ethnically, and economically diverse communities in all of Manhattan.
No, I know.
And I think only second to Jackson Heights in all of New York City.
Right. And that's oh my God, Jackson Heights. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a fun place to go.
Yeah.
I lived in the Savoy housing over there during the height of COVID.
Sure.
And I grew up here, and so I'm very familiar with the neighborhoods and the flavors and the food and all of that. And that's what intrigues me about what you do. I mean, it's really quite remarkable how you pull this all together and your vision and how you share it and how you put it out there and package it and hope that people in the neighborhood, as you said, it's mostly you're trying to appeal to the local people. And that to me is just priceless.
Yeah. And you know what? I would say if you haven't been to West Harlem, come by. It's a fun place, a lot of great restaurants, a lot of great outdoor activities happening in West Harlem this summer. And guess what? It's free.
Right.
You can come by. We have beautiful parks. We have beautiful activities happening in those parks. We have a jazz series. Marcus Garvey's Park is an amazing park in Central Harlem. So come, and we have lovely arts organizations. You know, we feature 21 of them at the Innovation Triangle, 21 nonprofit arts organizations in West Harlem.
Right.
So I would say there's always a lot happening in West Harlem.
How do we find out what are the websites? What are the social media platforms?
I would say the best way to find out what's happening is by going to our website, whaanyc.org, and signing up for our e-blast and our mailing list, because we are every week pushing out at least 3 e-blasts, one for artist opportunities, grants, residencies, and such. The other for our events, the ones that we are producing and presenting. And then also the third would be what everybody else in West Harlem is presenting, which we call What's Happening.
Right.
So sign up and you'll get a really good sense of what's happening and what West Harlem is all about.
Michael, this has been a pleasure and an honor. Thank you from the bottom of my heart that you came and you've been on the show. It means a lot to me, and it means a lot to our community.
Thank you. Well, I hope to see you back again in West Harlem real soon.
You will definitely see me, and we might do the barge.
Okay, fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.